We have a chair, because I got tired of sitting on the floor. And I refuse to have what happened to me last week happen again. Also, I'm aware that my hair is in the middle of what appears to be a race change. We had a bit of a styling mishap, but it's okay. Alright, let's talk about boundaries. And I'm telling you right now, the easiest way to create them is to separate yourself from your friend groups for a couple of months. But I'm going to ease you into it. Start paying attention to your body when it's time to hang out with certain groups of people. Do your shoulders feel tight? Is there an unexplainable pressure on your chest? Do you have this feeling of dread or unease in your gut? That's a clue. If this is happening to you, start spending less and less time with the people in question until eventually you're no longer spending time with them at all. Depending on the group's dynamics, you may actually be able to quit them cold turkey and they don't even notice, which tells you everything you need to know about how they thought about you. If you feel like you can, because some people are just plain awful, straight up tell them you don't want to hang out with them anymore. I consider this an advanced escape because they may demand an explanation, which in my opinion they don't deserve if they're toxic enough, but both explaining and not explaining require a level of confidence that you may not have yet, and like I said, I'm going to ease you into it. I'm going to talk you through it. So, now that you're divorced from the group, I want you to rethink your interactions with that group and criticize them firmly. And try not to fall into the whole, well, we had some good moments together, bestie. If we're talking about your friend group, you should be saying, we have a lot of good moments together. Actually, we have a lot of great moments together, not just some, and not just past tense. Now, if you don't feel like your group is toxic enough to leave, or you just don't feel uncomfortable enough to leave, you can do this part first. Just understand that it may not actually be that your friend group is toxic, but you just have some moments here that genuinely make you uncomfortable, or you are so used to your boundaries being disrespected that you don't even realize you have boundaries that are being disrespected. You're so used to not having them that you're not even acting. You're not taking action when they're being disrespected. So I want you to pull out a piece of paper or your notes app, your journal, whatever you use to write down your feelings, and write down the things that happened while you were still with the group and how they made you feel. And if you also happen to remember the bodily sensations you had and how you physically felt during these interactions and events, write those down too, because that's your body's warning system. We've been conditioned to ignore our body and just follow and listen to our minds instead, so we gotta get back in tune with ourselves because they'll tell us a whole lot more about the situation before our minds can figure it out. Try to put a name to the thing that happened. If somebody in my friend group said, oh yeah, boys are so much better, girls are too much drama, like, I just don't understand how people have female friends. Red flag. That girl is a pick-me, which means internalized misogyny. So one of my boundaries is misogyny. If you notice that you're the only one in the friend group whose hangout suggestions aren't taken, your texts in the group chat are always going unanswered, and you just generally feel like you're not treated as an active part of the conversation, then your boundary is reciprocity. And if someone else's friend group always likes to make comments about each other's bodies and they're negative and it always makes them uncomfortable, then their boundary is body shaming. Naming the situation makes it more recognizable when your boundaries are hit again. Now, how long you decide to go before you start socializing again is entirely up to you, but practice enforcing those boundaries when you do. It's up to you if you want to say something in advance, but definitely speak up when something happens. So now that you're equipped, you'll know that anybody who tells you, oh, you ruined their fun, or oh, you went too far, you shouldn't have, when you speak up for yourself and your disrespected boundaries, is exposing that they're exactly the type of people who also would have benefited from you not guarding those boundaries. And it'll also signal the types of people you should look out for. Good luck quitting your toxic friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye! Again with the short-ass videos.